The Zelda series is packed full of little secrets and references. Some of these are well known, like paintings of various Mario characters inside Ocarina of Time's Hyrule Castle, or that the Keaton and Brayman masks, alongside the Bunny Hood, Don Gero's mask and Mask of Sense, are likely a reference to the members of the Star Fox team. But with a series so intricately designed as Zelda, there are a bunch more obscure references, glitches, secrets and Easter eggs, which I've been covering on this mini-series on the channel, Zelda Secrets. Previously, we've covered things such as musical Easter eggs in the Minish Cap, or seemingly pointless dialogue from one of Ocarina of Time's statues. So subscribe if you haven't already for more Zelda content, and without further ado, let's get into it. The relationship between Zelda and Link is one of the best parts about Skyward Sword. It'd be easy to lose the human side of Zelda, the reincarnation of a powerful goddess, and Link, the hero chosen by destiny to defeat evil, but the character's connection helps ground these superhuman individuals. Link and Zelda were childhood friends, both students at the Skyloft Knights Academy, and as young adults there's a romantic undertone to their friendship. And there are a couple of brilliant little details found within Zelda's bedroom, only accessible after Link obtains the claw shots through a small crawl space in the ceiling. Of course, Zelda's bedroom features a knitted Tingle doll, which in itself is a great Easter egg, but it also features a letter, sealed with what appears to be a love heart, possibly intended for Link. However, my favourite objects in Zelda's bedroom are the two carved wooden bird statues, one on her desk and one on her dresser, painted blue just like her loft wing. This doesn't mean much by itself, but when we look around Link's room, we can find not only a counterpart Crimson Loftwing statue on his bookshelf, next to one of a remlit, but an unfinished bird statue on his desk, alongside mallets, chisels, and wooden blocks. Link carved and painted all of these statues, and considering Zelda's are the only ones not found in Link's room, they were probably gifted to her by Link, symbols of their friendship. Majora's Mask is a game packed with tiny Easter eggs and secrets, both those found in the original game, like a paper plane atop a column in the ancient Ikana Castle, and those added to the 3DS remake, like a Wii remote hiding in the Goron Elder's son's room. One of my favourite Easter eggs in the game is found in the bomb shop, nestled in the western street of Clocktown. In the original game, the bomb shop houses a rather out-of-place object, a giant rocket, its head nearly touching the ceiling of the store, made seemingly out of wooden planks. This spacecraft is explained by a series of notes pinned to the wall in the corner, diagrams of the rocket in use, its internal mechanisms, and a sketch of the moon. Link can study these notes, which read, "Planned moon trip experiment memo. Try using bomb-powered flight." So, the bomb shop owner is planning to visit the moon in his homemade rocket, using bombs as propulsion. This Easter egg is already brilliant, but it gets even better in Majora's Mask 3D, which adds a ton of new detail. Not only does the rocket itself now feature a little bomb symbol, more schematics for the craft can be found around the store, and the notes even feature translatable Hylian text, reading things like "planning to make lunar travel a reality" and "lunar travel, man's great ambition." But best of all, out on the far wall the owner has laid out an entire plan for the mission, including the rocket taking off, travelling through space, before opening up to reveal adorable little arms and legs, and landing safely on the moon. The owner then apparently plans to set up a little umbrella and relax, plant a flag, or even find treasure up there. Maybe it's just because of how much this Easter egg reminds me of Wallace and Gromit, but it's one of the most endearing little secrets in the game. And even if the bomb shop owner stayed decidedly grounded, Link eventually takes one giant leap to the moon on his behalf during the game's climax, using an even more convoluted and bizarre method to get there. Twilight Princess's hero's shade is one of the most enigmatic characters in the series. Appearing first as a spectral golden wolf, the shade usually appears at Howling Stones, after which he can be found somewhere in Hyrule. When found, the shade will take Link to another dimension, a cloudy white plain with a ghostly Hyrule castle in the background. In this strange realm, the spirit will teach Link one of 7 hidden skills, passing on his knowledge to Link so that he can be worthy of the green tunic and title of hero. Though it's never directly stated in-game, it's long been a well-supported theory that the hero's shade is actually the spirit of the hero of time, lingering on to pass on his skills to his ancestor. This has of course been later confirmed in Hyrule Historia and Encyclopedia, but in-game, the closest the shade gets to confirming his identity is referring to himself as a past hero. However, there's a neat detail in both the original and HD remake that supports this idea, even without the direct confirmation we get from the books. Only visible in the game very briefly, such as when the hero's shade performs the mortal draw, is the scabbard he uses to sheath his blade. While his sword is simple, his scabbard isn't. It's actually an incredibly worn version of the Master Sword's own scabbard, faded and covered in foliage. It's hard to see in-game, but put side to side they're identical, perhaps implying that even after the hero of time laid the Master Sword to rest, he kept his scabbard, continuing to use it long after he placed the blade back in the Temple of Time, reminding himself of the hero he once was. Being a game built around the central mechanic of shrinking down to the size of an insect, Link is given a whole new perspective on Hyrule's homes, forests, fields and mountains in the Minish Cap. The Minish themselves are found in all sorts of nooks and crannies, from little mushroom huts to a whole mini cafe built atop the rafters. And exploring the world in this way gives us a close look at Hyrule, which would be otherwise almost impossible to achieve in a 2D game. In the town library, Link must shrink down to climb up a bookshelf, eventually working his way to the elder of the town Minish, who lives snugly inside a hollowed out book. But what's easily missed here is that the books have Hylian text on, which can be translated into Japanese and then to English, courtesy here of the Zelda wiki. The books on this shelf range from mundane, like the Mushroom Encyclopedia, philosophy tomes and books on festivals, to whatever the World of Stars is, and books on ancient civilizations. However, the bookshelf actually hides two mini references. The first is two books titled Tub and Hose, which in Japanese is Turai Tuhosu, which sounds similar to Turai Fosu, or Triforce. This is the Japanese equivalent to the Triumph Forks, which is how the Wind Waker's fishmen refer to the Triforce, most likely because all accounts of the actual artifact have faded into myth. The second mini reference is the fact that two books on the shelf are titled Mysterious Seed. The Minish Cap's developers, Capcom, also developed Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons for the Game Boy Color, and both games are known in Japan as Mysterious Seed, but with two different chapters. A couple of episodes ago, we covered how all of the Gerudo Vi in the Noble Canteen are internally referred to by the game with the term milk, which is most likely a reference to the milk bars of past Zelda games, particularly its first iteration in Majora's Mask, which is also an establishment implied to be serving alcohol in the form of Chateau Romani. However, what I missed is a line of dialogue during the side quest, The Secret Club's Secret. This quest begins when Link tries to access the Gerudo Secret Club on the southeast side of town. Greta, the manager, asks Link for the password, and if the player guesses wrong, she'll tell them to go drink milk in the bar or something. This is a hint to how Link can discover the password. Three women in the Noble Canteen sit discussing the password, and Link can eavesdrop through a nearby window to learn it. However, if Link talks to the bartender after he's tried to access the secret club, he'll have an additional dialogue option. When she claims that Link is too young to drink there, and that they mix drinks that are definitely just for adults, he can now ask if they serve milk. Furosa replies with, "Milk? We don't carry anything as childish as milk here," before realising it's probably one of Greta's pranks. Still, it's a great reference to the Milk Bar, a Zelda staple location, and the fact that she refers to it as a childish drink could even be taken as a reference to Majora's Mask's placement in the child timeline, or that Link is a child throughout the game, though who knows whether or not that was the intention. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, leave a like or subscribe if you haven't already for more Zelda content. Cheers guys, and I'll see you next time.